Welcome to Module 1 of your Project-Based Learning Training. In this lesson, we'll explore the foundations of project-based learning, also known as PBL, and how it connects student learning to real-world problems. By the end of this module, you'll understand the core elements of the gold standard PBL model, including 7 essential design elements and 7 key teaching practices. Let's dive in and see how PBL can empower students to take ownership of their learning. So, what is project-based learning? PBL is a student-centered teaching method where students gain knowledge and skills by working on real-world projects. Unlike traditional teacher-led instruction, where students passively absorb information, PBL encourages students to take an active role in their learning, with the teacher acting as a guide on the side. This shift creates a dynamic classroom environment where students are deeply engaged in solving complex problems, often connected to real-world issues like the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. These projects have global relevance and prepare students to think critically about the world around them. To create effective PBL units, it's important to focus on the 7 essential design elements. Let's take a closer look. 1. Challenging problem or driving question. At the heart of every PBL unit is a complex, open-ended question that drives the project. This question should challenge students to think deeply and solve meaningful problems. 2. Sustained inquiry. Students dive into deep research, continuously investigating and building knowledge throughout the project. 3. Authenticity. The project must feel real. It should be connected to a real-world context, something relevant to students' lives or communities. 4. Student voice and choice. Students have a say in the direction of their project. They make decisions about how they approach their work, fostering independence and ownership. 5. Reflection. Reflection is a key part of learning. Throughout the project, students reflect on their progress, what they've learned, and how they're growing. 6. Critique and revision. Students receive feedback from peers and teachers, allowing them to revise and improve their work along the way. 7. Public product. Finally, the project culminates in a public product. Students present their work to an authentic audience, sharing their findings and solutions. Each of these elements is designed to ensure that projects are rigorous and meaningful. For example, using the UN's SDGs allows students to connect their learning to important global issues. Next, let's look at the 7 key teaching practices you'll need to effectively implement PBL in your classroom. 1. Design and plan. You'll begin by designing a flexible project that incorporates student voice and choice, while ensuring it's challenging and meets curriculum requirements. 2. Align to standards. Every project should be tied to curriculum standards and learning objectives to ensure academic rigor. 3. Build the culture. Your role as a teacher is to create a classroom culture of independence, collaboration, and high expectations. 4. Manage activities. It's important to stay organized, manage tasks, resources, and deadlines to keep students on track. 5. Scaffold student learning. Provide the tools and support students need to succeed, whether it's through structured lessons or just-in-time teaching. 6. Assess student learning. Use both formative and summative assessments to track student progress and provide feedback throughout the project. 7. Engage and coach. Finally, your role is to be a coach, giving students feedback, asking guiding questions, and helping them stay motivated. Let's bring this all together with a real-world example of PBL using the UN's SDG 13, climate action. Imagine your students are working on a project around the question, how can we reduce our community's carbon footprint? For sustained inquiry, students research local environmental challenges and potential solutions. The project's authenticity comes from its connection to real-world climate change issues affecting their community. At the end of the project, they present their public product, a proposal to local government officials on how to reduce the community's carbon footprint. This example illustrates how the 7 essential design elements and teaching practices come together to create an engaging and meaningful learning experience. Take a moment to reflect on these questions. How can you design a project that challenges students while staying aligned with curriculum standards? What strategies can you use to build a classroom culture that fosters independence and inquiry? How can you shift your role to guide and coach students through their projects rather than leading every step? As you wrap up this module, your next step is to identify a real-world problem or question, like one from the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, that can drive a PBL unit in your classroom. Think about how you'll incorporate student voice and choice while ensuring the project aligns with your curriculum standards. In the next module, we'll explore how to design and plan your own PBL unit. Thank you for participating in Module 1. We look forward to seeing you in the next lesson as we continue our journey through project-based learning.